Wait, I got a new mic. No, I didn't. I just turned it on. But did the audio get better? I'm going to need your participation in this one. So let me know. Mute. We can't hear you. Muted. Good. You're working. Got it. Can't hear. Sound on now. People, make up your mind. Good audio. Sounds working now. I can hear you. There we go. We still have our Christmas tree up because I love the smell of Christmas and my cat likes the tree, and because DJ Moore is the star of our Christmas tree. So we're just going to leave it at that. Let's see what we got going on here. Loud and clear. Go Tia. Oh, my sissy is in here. Is my nephew Joey watching? Okay, here we go. Are we ready to go, people? Are we ready? Give me a thumbs up if we're ready. Remember, I'm going to need crowd participation. I'm going to need y'all in the comments. I'm going to need y'all clapping it up with me because right now I am talking to nobody but my cat. My husband had already left for dinner. He's watching from somewhere else. So it's just me. I feel like the Grinch alone. Okay. We're so ready. Here we go. Now, before we get started, do we have any ground rules? I don't think there's any ground rules. So let's just get into it. Let's clap it up for week 17, everybody. Yes. Clap it up in the comments. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Week 17 was crazy. Week 17 was lit. And week 17 felt like it lasted for a month because Christmas feels like 2 months ago already. But we're going to get started. Be kind. Someone said it. Drake May. Okay. We're going to start off with our matchups. Sorry, this is like makeshift classroom from home. Here we go. Hope it doesn't wipe off. We got our matchups. Not to worry. I've got the rest of them on the back. So if you don't see your team on the first page, it's because they played later on in the day. Let me get my notes out, ready and prepared. Here we go. We're going to start off with the Cowboys and the Commanders. And the Cowboys and the Commanders started us off on Christmas Day. And it's funny because I listened to Pardon My Take. Such a fabulous sports podcast. I mean, that is the best. Shout out Pardon My Take. And they were saying how if you looked at our Christmas Day slate, which was these 3 games, if we looked at that at the beginning of the season, everyone was like, this is going to be a popcorn. Christmas Day is going to be lit. Christmas Day is going to be down to the wire. Why? Because the Commanders, if you don't remember, last year, the Commanders made it to the NFC Championship. The Commanders were fighting for the Super Bowl. The Lions and the Vikings, Week 18 last year, I was at Ford Field for this. They were fighting for the conference. They were fighting for the NFC title. And then the Broncos and the Chiefs, I mean, come on. Bo Nix was on his rise. Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs made it to the Super Bowl. So before this season, this looked like a matchup of all matchups. But then the season started. And as I always say, anything can happen. And anything happened. Anything happened. But alas, the games were played. We had some fun. Let's get through it. Cowboys versus Commanders. I'm going to need you in the comments. Who won? I can hear you. Did someone say I can or can't? Whatever. That would be the Cowboys. I think the Commanders are in a season of we'll never know because Jaden Daniels was not available, right? They will never know what their team could or could not have been because they only had Jaden Daniels, I think, for 4 full games. So we'll never know. We'll never know. Moving on. Lions versus Vikings, right? Vikings won this game. And let me tell you, Andrew Van Ginkel, we miss him here on the Miami Dolphins. Love the Van Ginks. That defense, I know Brian Flores is a name that is not a name we say a lot in Miami because if you don't know, he was our former head coach. Things didn't go well in Miami for Brian Flores and Tua Tagovailoa. It was like a butting of the head situation. Brian Flores left Miami. He is now the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. And is that my cat? Hello, cat. And the Vikings defense is on point. Vikings won because the Vikings won this game. This knocked officially the Lions out of playoff contention. So we say bye-bye to the Lions in the playoffs. And because the Vikings won, knocking the Lions out, this gave Green Bay their ticket to the playoffs before the Packers even played. Packers punched their ticket on Christmas Day. It was like a little early Christmas gift for the cheeseheads, right? All right. Broncos versus Chiefs. My girl Ashton was there. And you know what I noticed? I was in Orlando with family watching this one. So it was on mute. We were having like family time and it was on my phone. And I even took this to Twitter. I was like, why do we keep emotionally showing Travis Kelce? I felt like the camera panned to Travis Kelce 20 times. Sad, somber, not a lot of happy vibes. And then I realized, because the commentary in the background was all about, this was the last Chiefs home game. Travis Kelce's contract is up. Will he retire? Will this be his last year? Taylor Swift was in attendance. Everybody, the stars were out for this game, and Travis Kelce's people were there. Is this a little hint at the end for him? Could he do a Gronk and a Tom Brady? Could he go to another team next season? I mean, yes, he can, but will he? Do you think he will do it? Let's sound off in the comments. I know the camera crews always show Kelce and Taylor Swift. Yes, okay, the camera crews always do show Kelce and Taylor Swift. But watching this without audio made me realize, oh, wait a minute, something's going on here, because he looks sad. I mean, I think it was tears during the national anthem. I don't know. There was just a vibe of not good vibes around Kelce in his last game at Arrowhead. The live is glitching a little. Well, maybe you need to fix your internet. Sorry. I don't know. Maybe it's my internet. He hasn't been focused. I don't think he will retire. I listen to their podcast, and he loves playing. That's another thing. Okay. Ipso facto, the Broncos won this game, keeping their chances at the number 1 seed alive and well, which they already were. Chiefs, my girl Ashton was there in attendance, got to go to Arrowhead on Christmas Day with her family. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's move on to the Saturday games, because we're in the season of Saturday NFL, and that's the best season to be in. Texans versus Chargers. Texans won this game. Now, I have a question for you guys. Can I do a little side note here about the Texans? Can I do a little mini lesson about the Texans? Because the Texans are on my list. And the Texans, I got a little thing I want to show you. Here we go. I'm going to do it anyways, even if you don't want to. All right. I need you to look here. And this talks about the statistics of starting 0-3 in the NFL. And I did this with my students way back in week 2. Before week 3 happened, and I showed them the importance of week 3 and why those early games matter so much. And I'm taking just this 0-3 start. Now, these are stats that start at 1990. So if you're going to throw at me 1960, whatever, I'm not listening. We're talking 1990 to now, okay? Teams that start 0-3. All right. If you look at our denominator down here, you notice denominator is the bottom number in our fraction. There are 165 teams that have started 0-3. This is not including this year's stat, right? This is stopped up until 2024. There are 165 teams that started 0-3, right? Since 1990. Now, out of those 165 teams, 4 of them have made the playoffs. So 4 of those teams that started 4 of those teams that started 0-3 have made the playoffs. Well, as we know, the Houston Texans this season, they started 0-3. They would make this 5-166, right? They're the 166th team, and they would make it 5. So, but if we're talking not this year, 4 of those teams have made the playoffs. Then we move down to won their division. Out of those 4 teams that started 0-3 and made the playoffs, only 2 of them have won their division. Only 2 of them have been crowned the kings of their division, okay? So we've already dropped off half to that point. Then we go down to won the Super Bowl. Out of those 2 teams, out of those 4 teams that made the playoffs, dropped down to 2 teams that have won their division. No team has started, since 1990, there has been 0 teams that have started 0-3 and won the Super Bowl. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, A, is because the Houston Texans are right here. They have punched their ticket to the playoffs. They're in this statistic category. And this weekend, they could make it to this statistic. They could win their division. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I truly believe, after looking at the Texans and how dominant their defense is, and when their offense is clicking, when CJ Stroud is CJ Strouding, right? When we're having a good time on both sides of the ball, I really, truly think the Texans could make it to the Super Bowl. If they got it going on, if they and that goes for any team. I mean, if any team does the right things at the right time, you could win it, right? Everybody can say that. But the Texans got hot at the right time. The Texans are figuring it out at the right time. Could the Texans be the 1 of 166. Could they do it? And it's hilarious because I said this stat with my students when the Dolphins started 0-2. And I so proudly said the Dolphins could be the 1 of 166 to do it. And now I'm laughing at myself. But truly, 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 the Texans could be the 1 of 166. What do you think? Do you think the Texans could win the Super Bowl? Taking your bias out of it, right? We all have our own biases, whatever. I'm not in school right now. Do you think the Texans could do it? Let's see. They have a real chance that they ball out. Broncos versus Bears. Go Broncos and Maddox. Yes, the Texans if you believe, right? Okay. Hi, guys. I remember this lesson. Yes! Texans put the chicken in number 1 seed for the Broncos. But they haven't yet. Okay. Yes, in 2025 NFL season, 6 teams started 0-3. The Texans, Miami Dolphins, New Orleans Saints, New York Giants, New York Jets, and Tennessee Titans. But if you look at those 6 teams that started 0-3 this season, there is only one that has made the playoffs, and that is the Houston Texans. So it just goes to show you how important the beginning of your season is, but how important it all is. But let's get back. Sorry, I got to keep myself on track here. I got nobody pacing me. I tend to ramble. If I start rambling, just shoot me in the comments and say, you're rambling, move on, right? I'm not going to take offense to it. Just be kind and say, girl, move on. We heard it. We're good. All right. Now let's go to the Ravens and the Packers. Ravens were holding on to a thread. There was the drama. Lamar Jackson is mad at John Harbaugh. There's tension in Baltimore. What are they doing? And then the Ravens show up and show out. They forgot and remembered in the same day that they had Derrick Henry, their big running back, and they ran all over the Packers, right? They forgot they had that weapon for a little bit, but then they remembered, like a light bulb turning off. It's a simile. We're talking about similes in class. Like a light bulb, they remembered, oh, yes, we have Derrick Henry. Oh, yes, we win this, right? And because of this win over the Packers, remember, the Packers clinched because of this. Packers are already in, so doesn't matter. The Ravens, they're staying alive because of this. Ha, 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 ha. Staying alive. Staying alive. Staying alive. Right? That was a little off key. Don't judge me on that one. Ravens are staying alive. And they stayed even more alive later, which was my favorite game that I was watching. Here we go. Bucks versus Dolphins. This was a big game for the Bucks. A big moral game for the Dolphins. Why was this a moral game for the Dolphins? Because we were starting our quarterback Quinn Ewers, right? He had his second official start with the Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa, as we've talked about, is benched for the remainder of the season. He has been resulted to the last quarterback, right? He's just done for the season. Do I know what's going to happen to him next year? I got no clue. But Quinn Ewers is starting. Quinn Ewers looks comfortable. Quinn Ewers, yeah, he made some mistakes, but as a rookie and as someone, he's got a little bit of aura. I don't know. He just seems, I like it. Let's see how it plays out. Let's see how he responds in Foxborough in week 18 when he's playing Drake, May. Anything can happen. This was a big loss for the Bucks. And we're going to talk about what this means because this division that the Buccaneers are in, that would be the NFC South, is a total disaster right now. And total disaster meaning it's complete chaos, okay? Now, we move on to the Patriots versus the Jets. And this was just, This was just, the Patriots just they just put the nail in the coffin with this one. And it was lights out by the first half, I feel like. The Jets, if you're a Jets fan, I feel like for so long you've been saying maybe next year. And just know that there's going to be a year that you say it and it will be true. Now, is it going to be next year? I don't know. But keep saying maybe next year, and 1 year it will be true. Now, there is one not good statistic to come out of the Jets. It's a sad stat, right? We talk about it on PMT. It's a sad stat. The New York Jets have gone 17 games, right? We've all played 17 games at this point. No, we've all played 16 games at this point. Sorry. And the New York Jets, their defense has not had one interception all year. All year. If they go to week 18, when they play the Buffalo Bills, they play the Buffalo Bills in week 18, and they don't get an interception, it is to my knowledge that they will be the first ever NFL team, someone can fact check me, to go an entire season without one interception. It's a sad stat. Okay. Jets, Cowboys, same fan base. The Bills are changed with final score. The Bills gonna beep, 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 beep. Okay, chaos. Okay. Now, Drake, it's funny. I want you guys to see in my notes for number 7, Patriots versus Jets, I said Drake, May. That was my only note. That was the only note I had, right? Drake May is, and you know what? When you have Ann Michael May doing Bakemas, it's just, December is their month, but will January be their year? That's what we'll have to find out. Okay, to this game, the Steelers versus the Browns. Aha! Do you remember when we talked about this Saturday game, the Ravens versus the Packers, and how I said the Ravens won, keeping themselves alive? Well, this Steelers versus Browns game, if you were a Raven fan, you were cheering for Shedeur Sanders and the Browns. Why? Well, you could probably figure this out. The Steelers and the Browns, you wanted the Browns to win because if the Browns won, then that kept your season alive. Well, my friend, the Browns did it. Shedeur Sanders, Myles Garrett, and the whole team, Kevin Stefanski, they did it. They did the dang thing, and the Browns got the W. And it's interesting because this game had a big thing around it, not just because the Steelers now have to wait until week 18 to figure out if they're going to the playoffs. One of the best, some can say, in the entire league. Now, he is going for the single season sack record. He's trying to break a personal record, not a team record, just a personal record. Can he get the most sacks? Can he tackle the quarterback the most times in one single season? Now, he had the opportunity to do it in this game. And the crazy thing about this game is the team that they were playing, the Steelers, they have TJ Watt. Now, TJ Watt on the Steelers is the defensive player that currently holds that record, tied with Michael Strahan, TBT. And what Myles Garrett said at the end of the game, he said, I feel like they were more focused on me, Myles Garrett, not tackling Aaron Rodgers than they were on winning the game. Meaning the Steelers were just trying to make sure TJ Watt, their player, his record didn't get broken during that game. What do you guys feel about that? Steelers fans, tap in. Are you feeling that or no? Drake May. Browns, Falcons are the best. Okay, the Steelers felt the loss of DK Metcalf. Yes, they did feel the loss of DK Metcalf. They had to pass to MVS, blah. Aaron Rodgers has lost to both Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders. That's a little great fun fact right there. I love that. I hope they win next week too. Browns Steelers should have won, but the end, Aaron Rodgers is showing meaning getting old. Yes, I believe you're right on the Jets making history. They don't get an interception. Thank you. Okay. I love Kit Kat. Oh, and my husband is here. Say hi to my husband. Okay. Are we ready to move on? Let's move on. Here we go. What did Jessica say? Okay, Jessica, Aaron Rodgers. Oh, yeah. Okay. Here we go. We've got our later slates. Jaguars versus Colts. Let me flip my notes. Beep, beep. I have not been following my notes. Okay. Jaguars versus Colts. I think Phillip Rivers is done, right? Jaguars, they got the win. They overcame a little deficit to come back out on top, right? Jaguars are looking pretty good. I call him Trevor Lawrence with the beautiful hair. I love it. And I saw a cool fact. I don't even know if I said this last week about how Liam Cohen had Trevor Lawrence just simply switch the way his feet were when he's throwing the ball, right? Switch his footwork starting with, I think it's either starting with his left foot forward or his right foot forward. I don't know which one he did before. And that has made such a big difference in play. And it just goes to show that sometimes the little things can make the biggest difference. So while many people were wanting to write Trevor Lawrence off, maybe not Jaguars fans, sometimes you have to look a little deeper into it and just say, what are some things that we can fix now that can make a big difference? Trevor Lawrence looks like a different guy. Trevor Lawrence is feeling himself, and I love it. But he also has a great team around him and great coaching staff. Again, the recipe for success. Okay, Saints versus Titans. Let me tell you something. Oh, when the Saints, oh, when the Saints, oh, when the Saints go marching in, and Tyler Shuck is gonna throw a touchdown because the Saints are marching in. Yes. Today I did a class session this morning to go over division standings, and let me tell you, Jose was living large, depressed in the beginning of the year, and even though they're knocked out of the playoffs, he is just loving seeing this. He is loving seeing his Saints. I even was like, I think they won 3 in a row, and he was quick to be like, pause, Mrs. Crippen. They've won 4 in a row. I mean, he is hyped up to be on the Saints train. He is hyped up to be in with this wagon, right? What do you guys feel about Shuck? How do you feel? Is this the answer moving forward? Is this the answer? Do we like him? I don't know. I'm not in tune with the Saints universe as much. I watch them. That was a fun game to watch. But what do you feel? Saints win in Carolina. I know. So we're going to talk about that in a second. I love it when teams don't give up, even when they're out of the playoffs. That is such a fun fact because the Saints have done a lot of damage to other teams like the Bucks and the Panthers just because you could just tell they love ball. They love ball and they love playing. Another thing I want to point out is Titans. Cam Ward. I'm just going to write Cam Ward here because I see the improvement. And I know the things that he said in the beginning of the season about his team in the press conference. He said, we beep, right? Looking to get himself better and improve, even though they are way out of the playoffs, and they have been for a very long time. I think Cam Ward has a bright future in the NFL. I just hope that the Titans can build around him. I hope they can do something. Come on, he deserves it, okay? Guys, we're going to go over the whole, let me tell you, we're going to go over the chaos of the NFC South in a second. Okay, Seahawks. Guys, are we gone? We lost you. Frozen like the frozen tundra. No! I'm back. Forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Okay, we're back. Okay, we back. What did I freeze on? Did I freeze on the Bengals? Did I say something controversial that somebody in the world, Joe Burrow, cut off my stream? Like, girl, don't talk about me. I don't know. Okay, thank you. No, we haven't missed all about Panthers. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Giants versus Raiders. Don't worry, we are going to talk about the Panthers in a hot second. Giants versus Raiders. This was the TB. Not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but the toilet bowl. Why? Giants win. What a rowdy game it was. And because this Giants win and the Raiders lose, the Raiders get officially the number 1 draft pick. Meaning in the 2026 NFL draft, Raiders get to pick first. Who are they going to pick? I don't know. I don't really know. Mendoza? Maybe? Sound is missing now. Sound is good. Sound is missing. Please, people. Sound off. Seahawks, Panthers froze. Sound is fine. I can hear you. Exactly what Raiders wanted. Now, Raiders fans, I have a question for you. Are we keeping, not Geno Smith. I know we're probably not keeping Geno Smith. How am I blanking? Because I love him. He was the coach of the Seahawks. Are we keeping, someone refresh my memory. Are we keeping Pete Carroll. Huh? Are we keeping Pete Carroll? Has Pete Carroll aged 20 years since this Raiders season? I don't know. But alas, we move on. Raiders get the number 1 pick. Who are they going to pick? I don't know. I feel like it's a lot of pressure getting number 1 pick. Eagles versus Bills. This was a big game. We set the scene. Let the rain fall down and wake my dreams. The last game. Is this the last? Someone in the chat right now. Was this the last game at Highmark Stadium, or do the Bills play at home week 18? Eagles go Birds. Trayvon Diggs got cut. Yes, he did. That was the Cowboys. Someone tell me, last game for the Bills, or did they play at Highmark? Was that the last home game? Okay, Bills, thank you. Bills play at home week 18. They've got one more game at Highmark Stadium versus the New York Jets. Last game at Highmark, then they're moving to their new stadium. However, the Eagles win this game. Now, there was a lot of talk this season revolving the Eagles, and I see I got a lot of Birds fans in here. Fly, Eagles, fly, baby. Are you guys still mad at the Eagles? I was on social media, I was on Twitter, and people were very, very angry with the Eagles. And it made me confused because you guys were sitting at number 1 in the NFC East, and people were angry. I was like, I would die as a Dolphin. No, I wouldn't. I would do a lot of things to be at number 1 in my division. Are we still mad? Are we still mad? Are we still mad? Eagles, tell me if you're mad. Our offense needs to step it up. Go Birds, boo Kevin. So it's Kevin Patullo we're mad at. Okay, the offense is struggling. What an epic back and forth. I cannot wait to talk about that game. I think they have such high expectations for them and they shouldn't. Okay, that's a good point. Do you think that it's kind of interesting how the Eagles, the tush push, that was the Eagles' MO. And now I feel like when I've tuned into games and they've run the tush push, yes, they've been successful, but there's been more around the tush push with the Eagles this season. Like it hasn't been as of a hit. Like it hasn't been a, oh, baby, I love, right? You know? It's just the way Philly fans are. Okay, clock it. Here we go. Bears versus 49ers. This is getting stars. Stars, stars, stars. This was the game of the week for me. Actually, I need one. Never mind. This was the game of the week for me. First of all, this was the first time, and I'm going to be honest here, this is a safe space. This was the first time I've been able to successfully stay awake for Sunday night football for the entirety of the game. That sounds horrible. I know. I'm in the Eastern Standard Time zone. It gets pretty late. Your girl wakes up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to get ready for school, to get ready for class, and I get to school very early. Neither here nor there. This is the first time I've been able to successfully watch an entire game. My sleep schedule was off. I was staying up later, and I was not disappointed, right? And I think I could have dozed off. I could have, but this game started off hot. I mean, Brock Purdy threw a pick 6 in the first 6 seconds of the game, and I was texting my best friend because my best friend was in the fantasy football championships. She had Brock Purdy and she had Matt Stafford. And I even did a tweet, guys, who should my BFF start? And I was always leaning towards Brock Purdy. And after that pick 6, she texted me like, LOL, thank goodness I started Matthew Stafford. Well, joke's on her. Brock Purdy, holy cow. That game was incredible. It was back and forth. That was playoff football. That was the things I want to stay up late for. Those are the games I want to watch. And this was from the jump. This was from when the clock started. It was popcorn, popcorn, popcorn. And my favorite thing about this game is you've got Brock Purdy on the 49ers, San Francisco 49ers, mystery relevant, drafted last in the 2022 NFL draft. And then you have Caleb Williams, drafted first by the Chicago Bears. You've got the battle of the first and the last pick. And I just truly love both quarterbacks because I think they're just themselves. I don't think either of them are trying to be anything they're not. I think Caleb is unapologetically himself. I think Brock is unapologetically himself. And I love seeing both of them shine. I love the way that Caleb Williams is shining with his team. I love how his coach, Ben Johnson, has revamped this offense. I mean, they're a fun offense to watch. Defense needs a little work, but they're getting there. But that's a fun offense to watch. And Brock Purdy, Brock Purdy. That's that. I mean, those dance moves. Brock Purdy. And he's like 26. Like, he's a kid. He's 26 years old. I mean, this was a game. And we got to circle the 49ers. And because of us circling the 49ers, this, I think, no, it does officially knock the Bears out of being able to be number one in the entire NFC. The Bears can no longer be the king of the entire NFC. But the 49ers, with their disheveled defense, with the injuries, with Mac Jones stepping in, the 49ers have the chance to be number one in the NFC. And I think that says a lot about Kyle Shanahan. I really think Kyle Shanahan has a good chance at being coach of the year just because what he's been able to do with his team. I'm sorry, I rambled on a lot about that one. Okay. All right, here we go. What a game. Bears, Dini, step it up. Props to Purdue. We go, Mary. We love you. Oh, love you, Josh. I loved your Purdy's lesson. Always stay ready. Yes, that game for the Bears was yes. And I think the problem with me in Sunday night football games is that so many of them have started, and the Thursday night games, so many of them in the first half have started off as not great. So I've snoozed off by halftime, and then I'll wake up in the middle of the night, check the score app as I'm like going to the bathroom, and I'm like, what? When did this happen? But this one started so hot that I just couldn't go to bed. Okay, last game, Rams versus Falcons. Everybody and the mama and their daddy and the grandma and the tia, whatever you have at home, everybody thought Rams. Let me tell you something. Bijan Robinson put the team right there, baby. Clap it up for Bijan. He was on my fantasy team, number 1 draft pick. Showed up and showed out. And it was really fun to watch Kirk Cousins ride around. I love Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is a gem. But the Falcons showed up and showed out. But the Rams almost came back and gotcha, right? The Rams almost, I gotcha. But this was a great game. My student Nathan, who drafted the Rams, was in attendance for this game. His grown-up surprised him with tickets for Christmas and for getting student principals honor roll. So clap it up for Nathan. Great job this first quarter. We're proud of you. And he loved it. He said, A, it was freezing. He was freezing his butt off. Remember, we're from Miami, right? We're from Miami. And B, he said all the Falcons fans were super nice, and the crowd went electric for Bijan Robinson. So Bijan broke a bunch of records. I think if I remember this correctly, the single season scrimmage yards, he's at the top of the top. So that's great. Clap it up for Bijan. Here we go. Any questions before we move on? Okay, who are we waving to, guys? Miss Crippen, I was shook, but I had my Bijan on my fantasy team. Hey, the whole guy. Oh, we're clapping. I was like, who are you guys waving to? Was shocked that the pass interference wasn't called, but good game nonetheless. Yes, can you? That Puka call should have been a catch. I know. Okay, let's move on because I wanna keep. Oh wow, it's already 7:06. How can I yap so much? You know what the problem is in class, I have so many people like talking to me in class that things move along, but now I'm just talking to myself and my ADHD thoughts get ahead of me. All right, this is where we left off, okay? This is exactly where we left off last week. These were our standings, okay? I don't want you guys to come at me right now saying, this team isn't there. I know. Guys, this is how we do it. I saved this. We're going to wipe it off. We're going to move on. Now, I forgot an eraser. We're going to use the Cowboys as an eraser. Here we go. We're going to erase the records. Now, as I'm erasing, I got a question for you. If you guys, without your bias aside, and I asked my 8 and 9-year-olds this question on Google Meets this morning. Put your bias aside. Pick the 2 teams you think are going to make the Super Bowl. Give me your 2 teams they're going to be our Super Bowl matchup, and give me your winner. I'm going to save the chat, and I'm going to see who's correct. So as I'm erasing, I want you to do that. We're going to erase with the Cowboys. Okay. Here we go. And we're erasing with the Cowboys just because it was the first flag I picked up. Pennant. Okay. All right. We're going to do this. I'm just going to Now we're just erasing with my fingers. Erasing with my fingers all the time. I get the feeling. Slipping through my fingers all the time. All right. All right, here we go. Denver versus Rams, Bears. Oh, winner. Oh. All right. Done with the Cowboys. Toss it on the couch. Here we go. Now, first things first. I don't know if you noticed this, but we got too many people on this board, ladies and gentlemen. We got to take some people off. Now we can officially say, and this is how we do it in class, we say, great job, Colts. Toss it on the couch. They've officially been eliminated from playoff contention. We say, great job, Lions. They've been officially eliminated from playoff contention. On the couch you go. Great job, Vikings. I mean, they've been eliminated, but now they're out. And that's about it right here. It's the final countdown. All right. This is what we got. All right. And now it's time to move. All right. Wonderful eraser. Oh, you guys like that. Okay. That was not intentional. It's just the first thing I picked up. Okay. Let's start. I don't remember where we started last time, but we are going to start in the AFC. Now, we do have a slight change, but we will get to there. We do have our Broncos at number 1. Broncos are 13-3. They remain, by week 17, the king of the AFC. They're in the West division, and they have clinched. They've gotten an X, and they've gotten their Z. The Broncos get their crown, baby. Yes, they do, because they are the kings of the West, and nobody can take that away from them. So clap it up for the Broncos, kings of the West. I love the picture, and you have to go and look at this online. I think it was NFL on Fox posted it. It was Bo Nix in like a cowboy bar with Peyton Manning, and then it was Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce at like a side table, like watching the new king. I thought it was so cool. I loved it. All right, coming in at number 2, we have the New England Patriots. They are 13-3. They're in the East, and they too have clinched, and they too get their crown. The New England Patriots are back on top, and they are officially the king of the AFC East. They did the rebuild right. They did the rebuild correctly. That's how you do it. And it's hard as a Dolphins fan to say all these things, but I really like Mike Vrabel. I love Drake May. I stumbled on that one. And Mike, I like it. I like them. So yeah, great job to the New England Patriots. Here we go. Coming in at number 3, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're 12-4. They do not get a crown yet. They do not get a crown, right? So this is not for sure staying right here. And then we have, coming in at number 4, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are 9-7. They haven't clinched anything. They're not the king of anything. They have to play Week 18, Battle of the Bands, Ravens and the Steelers, right? So they're 9-7. If we take a look, I want you guys to remember, our top 4 teams are the kings of our division. So we have our king of the West, the Broncos, king of the East, Patriots, king of the South, Jaguars, king of the North, Steelers. The only 2 that are for sure staying here are the Broncos and the Patriots. Depending on week 18, the Jags could drop down here, and the Steelers could drop out. Jags are for sure in the playoffs. Steelers are not. Are we clear on those top 4? I think we are, because I think we got some ball knowers. Okay. My husband is, oh, no. Okay. I know. I love when it comes down to the end. Now we have coming in at number 5. And this is where we have a change. And if you're in class, and you are a member of class, whenever I would say to my students, we have a change, everyone would say, oh no, brace yourself. I'm taking off the Houston Texans as number 7. I'm moving. I'm not even going to tell you. I'm going to let you ooh and ah by yourselves. Start it from the bottom. Now they're here. Started 0-3, now they're here. Started 0-3, now they're here. And I want you to know that the Houston Texans are the team in the South. The Houston Texans are currently 11-5. And the Houston Texans, their direct competition to get into the top 4 is the Jacksonville Jaguars. So this team that started 0-3, this team that was a mess at the beginning, has a chance to become the king of their division by week 18. It's going to take a little bit to get there, but they got a chance, baby. And that's incredible. So clap it up for the Texans. And they also have clinched the playoffs. So the Texans are in. Nobody can take that away from them. Both of these teams are in. But week 18 will decide who's the king. Okay. Oh, I love the oohs and ahs. Okay, here we go. Coming in at number 6, we've got the Los Angeles Chargers. The Los Angeles Chargers are 11-5. They're in the West, and they have clinched. Now, there is no way, no how the Los Angeles Chargers can move up to the top 4. Why? We've already got our king of the West right here, the Denver Broncos. Nobody can take that crown from the Broncos, right? So the Los Angeles Chargers, the best that they can do is be 5, 6, or 7. 6, 7, I know. I think that's dead now, right? 6-7 is totally dead. Anyways, Chargers are here. That's what I've got. Is Justin Herbert okay? He needs to be protected. He's gotten sacked like 20,000 times. He needs to be protected. I feel very bad for Justin Herbert. Someone's got to protect him. Okay. Oh, they're not starting Justin Herbert. Okay. I'm starting to sweat. That's how you know I'm having fun. Here we go. 6, 7, 8, 9. Love to see it. Now, coming in at number 7, we have the Buffalo Bills. They have clinched the playoffs. They're in the East, and they are 11-5. Now, Buffalo Bills are in contention with the Patriots. The Bills will never move out of the bottom 3 of the playoffs. They never, ever, ever, ever will, because the Patriots take this crown. Now, I was going to say something. Oh, how did I not finish this? Please, people. The worst record on this board, and this is the crazy thing because this is the same thing over here, the worst record on this board comes from the king of the NFC North. It just goes to show you that even having, you have divisions that are so terrible, not so terrible because, again, everybody in the NFL is good. Everybody in the NFL is great. They're all there for a reason. It's just some teams are put together better than others and some players work better. You get what I'm trying to say. But the NFC North was not competitive this year. That's what I'm looking for. The NFC North was not competitive this year. And because of that, you think about the Buffalo Bills who are sitting here. Had they been in the NFC North, they would be number 1 in their division. So it's just kind of crazy to think about how that's happening. Now we move on to our lonesome Ravens over here. And our Ravens sit down here, and our Ravens, I didn't even write what their record is. Isn't the Ravens record? What is their record? Are they 8-8? That would be 16. Are they 8-8? Someone tell me. Are the Ravens 8-8? They're 8-8. I knew it. The Ravens are 8-8. And they're 8-8, and they're in the North. So the only reason that the Ravens are in playoff contention is because of this North right here. I just told you the AFC North is not competitive. And that's why the Ravens are staying alive. Okay, now, this weekend, the Ravens and the Steelers play each other. Yes, that's right, my friend. Week 18, we've got a matchup in the AFC North, sorry. They play each other. The Ravens win. The Ravens are in. The Steelers go to the couch. The Steelers win. The Ravens go to the couch. You win, you're in for this one. The Ravens, you lose, you're out. This is a big game. Sunday Night Football, popcorn, popcorn, popcorn. Is DK Metcalf playing? I think he was suspended for 2 games. He's not playing. Can old man Rodgers do this? Is Lamar Jackson playing? Is Lamar Jackson playing? Could they make the playoffs? Beep, 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 beep. I'm worried about the Broncos and the Chargers. Why are you worried about the Broncos and the Chargers? Justin Herbert isn't playing. Win or you're on vacation. Last game of the season. Playoff starts Sunday for the Steelers. Yes, it does. Playoff does start Sunday for the Steelers, and it does for the Ravens. Here we go. Let's move on to the NFC, and then I'm going to go over just 3 things to look for going into Week 18 that matter, and we're going to talk about the chaos that's the NFC South. Let's move it on. Here we go. Coming in at number 1, we have the Seattle Seahawks, and they remain here. They are from the West, and they are 13-3. Now, the Seattle Seahawks have clinched. They have clinched a long, long time ago. Not that long ago, but they've clinched, okay? But they're not the Kings yet. Then coming in at number 2, we have the Chicago Bears. They're 11-5. They're in the North, and they are the king of the North. Clap it up for the Chicago Bears, king of the North. Nobody can take it away from you. The Chicago Bears will never move out of the top 4. They will never move out of the top 4. They represent the North. They're the king, baby. Okay. Now we move on to number 3. Number 3 stays the Eagles. They are in the East. They are 11-5, and they too are the Kings. They are the kings of the East, and yet Eagles fans are still mad. But clap it up for the Philadelphia Eagles. You know what? I love that you're mad, because that means you expect better. That means that you want more for this team. This is not what you want, and you want more, and I respect that, okay? They have high standards. LMAO. Yes, corn doggy. Okay. Beep, 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 beep. Now, coming in at number 4, we still have the Carolina Panthers. They are 8-8. They are in the South, and they have clinched nothing. They're not the Kings. They're not for sure in the playoffs. They've clinched nada. Nada. And this is why Week 18 is so much fun. Now, coming in at number 5, we have the San Francisco 49ers. They're 12-4. They're in the West, and they have clinched the playoffs. Now, if we look at number 5, the San Francisco 49ers in the West, and you look at the people who are ranked above them, if we go up, that's not the West, not the West, not the West, not the West. They are in direct competition with the Seattle Seahawks. The only way the Niners make it to the top 4 is if they beat the Seahawks in Week 18. This is a battle for the West and a battle for the NFC 1 seed. I'll repeat that again later, but this is the only way that the Niners make it into the top 4, is by beating the Seahawks. There's no other way. Only one king from each division can be in there. Now we go to number 6. Number 6, we have the Rams at 11-5. They're also in the West, and they were the first team to clinch in the NFL, the playoffs. And it's crazy because the Rams sat here for such a long time, and just minor slip-ups at the end has moved them all the way down to number 6. So that's why I love that every game matters, right? I love it. Love it. Okay. Beep, 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 beep. Here we go. Week 18 showdown. Absolutely. Then we come into number 7, and we are at the Packers, and they are 9-6-1. They are also in the North, and they have clinched the playoffs. So if you take a look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams in the NFC have clinched the playoffs. There's 7 teams. There's 7 spots. There's only 1 spot available. And then 1 spot available is that number 4 spot. Is that South. And that's why the Bucs are still hanging out here. The Bucs are in the South. I don't even know what the Buccaneers record is. Yes, I do. The Buccaneers are 7-9. And they started off, did they not start off 6-1? It's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. Then that can also be going ipso facto. 7-9. They're in the South. I want to talk to you guys about something. Because now that we've got our little lineup here, we're going to move this fluffy chair. And we're going to talk seriously here. Sorry, now my Kit Kat, I just want you to know, on the other side of the screen, Kit Kat is on the couch watching me. Number 1 fan. Okay. We're going to talk about clinching scenarios. Today, my mom came over, and she wanted me to let you know, because she thinks that I didn't know this. And I'll admit, I forgot this fact. In Week 18, every single game is being played by a division matchup. Every single Week 18 game is a divisional game. I forgot this. My mom remembered. She told me. And so let's clap it up for Mrs. Martinez for sharing that fact and for enlightening me of a fact that I forgot. So that's why Week 18 is so fun, because all of these games are division matchups, because the NFL knows that things are going to come down to the wire. Let's make everybody play their rival in the end, because those division games are the big weighted games. Okay. All right. Oh my gosh, am I frozen? Okay, no, I'm not frozen. Okay. Rams cannot clinch. I know. I didn't say the Rams could clinch it. Oh, maybe you were. Okay. Okay, here we go. Now, this is where the fun happens. Guys, can we all just take a moment, please? This is the last time we're talking about all these teams. This is the last time we're going to talk about all the teams in the NFL because week 18 is it. This is when all the games are being played. And for me, the Miami Dolphins is my last time to see my Dolphins for the 2025 season until it goes away for 6 months. And I think that football season happens way too fast, like way, way, way too fast. And I just kind of want us all to take a moment of silence to just when there's a toilet bowl game on, watch it. Just watch it, because in a couple months you're gonna wish that game was back on your TV. And just take a moment to realize the community that we've made here, and just football is the best. And now we're gonna take that moment of silence, and I'm gonna stop talking. Let's continue. Here we go. Okay, week 18 clinching scenarios, and then we're done, my friends. I don't even have my watch on, so I haven't been able to. Oh, okay, we're almost at an hour. All right, sorry. NFC South. Where are we at? Let's just do it. Let's go over the chaos of the NFC South. So we have these two teams, right? And I even think I'm going to bring this bad boy out. Some of you may have seen my TikTok video. Maybe not. Okay, let's not look at the records. For real, the Panthers are 8-8. The Buccaneers are 7-9. Don't pay attention to this. This was me messing around earlier. The Falcons are 7-9. And the Saints, they're 6-10. Okay? This is what they are. Now, this weekend, the Panthers and the Bucs play each other, okay? The Panthers and the Bucs are matching up against each other. Now, this game would have been a simple win and you're in, lose and you go home, just like our Ravens and our Steelers. However, because the Falcons decided to show up and show out, because the Falcons decided to do the dang thing, this has now turned into a Falcons hold the key to the crown, sort of. Watch this. If the Panthers win, so if the Carolina Panthers drive themselves down to Raymond James Field, go and play in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers territory, and they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, then the Carolina Panthers will remain the Kings, and the Carolina Panthers will go to the playoffs as the Kings of the South, and the Buccaneers go home. Now, let's say the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win, okay? If the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win, then it is up to the Falcons, right? If the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win, they're not automatically in. The Falcons hold the keys. And why do the Falcons hold the keys, you may ask? Well, the Falcons are playing the Saints, okay? Now, if the Buccaneers beat the Panthers, their record becomes 8-9. And the Panthers losing would mean their record would become 8-9. They would both be 8-9, Panthers and Bucs. Tied. Now our keys go to the Falcons. If the Falcons beat the Saints, the Falcons would then be 8-9. We would have a 3-way tie between Panthers, Bucs, and Falcons. And I'm going to remind you, the Falcons have been eliminated. So the Falcons can't make it. But if the Falcons beat the Saints and the Buccaneers win, it's the Panthers that win this 3-way tie. The Panthers go to the playoffs, even if they lose. The Panthers lose and the Falcons win, the Panthers still go to the playoffs. So even the Bucs winning, they can't control their own destiny. They have to root against the Falcons. They need the Falcons to lose to the Saints. If the Falcons lose to the Saints, then the Buccaneers will go. So the Buccaneers have to win and the Falcons have to lose. That's the way the Bucs make it. And let me tell you something. That could very well happen. Tyler Shuck, my husband is very sad that he did not start him in his Week 18 Fantasy Football Championship. He was wishing he started him. He was very sad about it. Let's clap it up for a good job for Tom. But Tyler Shuck is doing things in New Orleans. New Orleans is playing for things. They're playing. So this is not going to be an easy go play the Saints. But that's where the drama of the chaos of the South comes into play. Did we understand that? Okay. We'll have the Dirty Birds. Bucks need to win, and Saints need to at least tie, and like beep, 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 beep. Lots of scenarios. Yes. Oh, my writing looks so small here. Hi, everyone. Okay. Okay, we got it. Do we get it? Basically, Basically, if you're a Panthers fan, you win, you're in. That's it. You just want to Panthers control their destiny, Bucks do not. That's it. Now, let's talk about the kings of the NFC West. If you notice, this does not have a crown, our South, and this one does not have a crown. Nothing can change with the Bears. Nothing can change with the Eagles. They're staying the kings. They could maybe flip-flop, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, it is, but we're going to go over that on Monday. The Seattle Seahawks go and play the San Francisco 49ers. I think that game is Saturday night. Whoever wins between the Seahawks and the Niners will be crowned the king of the West and the king of the NFC. So Niners versus Seahawks. You win, you're the king. You win, you're the king. You lose, you're not out of the playoffs. You're just in the wild card spot. Oh, sorry, corn doggy. I almost put your team down there. That's a big one. Now, we've already discussed the Steelers and the Ravens, the NFC North title. They play each other. Beep, bop. Winner takes all, loser goes home. Now, if you notice, NFC North will be decided on week 18. And, AFC North will be decided on week 18, just as the AFC South. The Jaguars have been sitting as the king for a couple of weeks now, but they're not for sure the king yet. Now, the Jaguars play the Titans, and the Texans play the Colts. Remember, they're playing guys in their divisions. If the Jags win, then the crown is theirs. The Jags win versus the Titans, the crown is theirs. If the Jaguars lose and the Texans beat the Colts, the Texans are in. So all the Jags have to do is win and in. Okay? Win and in. And even if they lose, if the Texans lose, then the Jags are still in. But Jags win and in. They lose, the Texans just need to win, and they're in. Which is pretty crazy because they started at 0-3. Now we get down to the last but not least, the king of the AFC. Now you might be thinking, Mrs. Crippen, the Denver Broncos already have their crown. Yes, they do have their crown for the West. But what they don't have is the crown of the AFC. And when you get a crown of the AFC, it's like a mumbo jumbo crown with so many diamonds on it because you're the king of your entire conference. You're the king of them all, right? And that right now is up to 2 teams, maybe 3, but not realistically. Possible, but not likely is what we talk about in class. The Broncos and the Patriots. If the Broncos beat the Los Angeles Chargers, the Broncos will become the king of the AFC. If the Broncos lose to the Chargers and the Patriots beat the Dolphins, the Patriots will take back their crown because they had it at first. If the Broncos and the Patriots both lose and the Jaguars win, the Jags take the crown, which is why it's possible but not likely for both of these teams to lose and this one to win. Most likely scenario, Broncos beat the Chargers, Broncos are in. And there you have it. Oh, if all 3 of them lose, it's the Broncos that win. Okay. That is like word vomiting. That's week 17. I think, I don't know. I just think that if you would have asked me at the beginning of the season, this is not how I would have seen it playing out. And I think it's really cool that it has happened that way because it just goes to show that anything can happen. I feel like this season has felt like such a weird season in some way, shape, or form. There's been so many injuries. We've been riddled with injuries. Think about Malik Neighbors, who's been out, Patrick Mahomes, Daniel Jones. I mean, there's so many what-if scenarios. What if Jaden Daniels, Cam Scatabo, Jackson Dart with as many concussions, but he's come back. I mean, there's just so many injuries that have happened. Micah Parsons. I know the Green Bay Packers are saying we would not be down here if we had Micah Parsons. There's so many things that have happened. But that's it. And it's so hard for me to pick who I think is going to be it because I don't know. I mean, I don't know. So many close games. I'm late, Miss Crippen. Can you go over it again? Just kidding. Girl, you're going to have to wait till it's uploaded. Okay. Is there any other questions that you guys have? Fox needs to hire Miss Crimmins. Thank you. Not sure if my hubby will watch the Bears Packers because he's a Packers fan. Oh. Okay. Great job as always. Thank you, Corn Doggy. It's a Lions fan. Yes, I know. Oh, the Lions. I just want to say that I wish all of your teams good luck on Sunday and Saturday. And I wish you all a very happy NFL weekend. It's the games that you may not even want to watch. Let's see if the Jets get an interception. Watch for those little things. Will Myles Garrett get his single season sack record? Will the Jets get an interception in their last game so they don't have that sad stat? Will it happen? There's so many things. So enjoy it and soak it in. And then on Monday, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go live again, and we are going to talk about the seedings because the seedings matter in the NFL, and I will go live and I will discuss who plays who and why, and we will discuss the first round of the playoffs and how the seeding and how the matchups work because it's not how you think it would. So soak it in. It's the last game of the season for my Dolphins, and I wish all of you a good night. Wait, I kind of want to hold on. Pop out chat. Here we go. I love this. Thank you for explaining. What do you think about the Bills having their game? I know, Monday. Yes, Monday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's do it. And we can talk about the playoffs, and then we will get down to the wire, and maybe we will do a bracket with each other. We'll do something fun, maybe a giveaway. I don't know. I'll think of something to get us through until the Super Bowl, and I'm just really excited, and thank you again for joining my live. Thank you for joining the rambling session of Class. Super excited to be back in the classroom with the kids this Monday. But again, I've grown to really like these lives with you guys. So thank you for being good sports. Thank you for having fun with me. Happy New Year. I will see you in 2026, Monday, I think the 5th, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live. We're going to break down this playoff. We're going to go over the rankings, and that's going to be that. So Happy New Year. I love you. Now I got to turn this off. How do I do that? Okay. Hey.